As Jeff mentioned, there's going to be refreshments. You're going to be able to go to the coffee grinder afterwards. The museum's going to be open later. You'll be able to buy DVDs and posters and so forth. You'll be able to talk to Seth further. But right after this, there will be a Q&A session. So don't leave. Just stick around for that. Now, one thing I do want to mention, a young lady named Ashley came up with it. This is right here. Came up with a great idea. And it was about a week. She wanted to talk to Seth and say, why don't we have about a week ahead of time before the official premiere of the Mothman of Point Pleasant, why don't we have a previewing and the proceeds to go to the upcoming Mothman Festival? And Seth said, sure, let's do it. Now, we wanted to dispel the rumor that the proceeds of this were going to go to Jeremy. You know who Jeremy is in the Mothman Museum? We were going to send him to camp next summer, but that has nothing to do with that. But in all seriousness, because of you being here and your efforts, we all of us have raised $2,400 toward the festival for 2017.
The reason we're able to make these movies is a bulk of that goes toward those guys. They dedicate a ton of time to helping me make the movies, and we do it as a team effort. And I think you guys are going to pick up on it really quick. There's no way one person is responsible for this particular movie. There's animated sequences, there's computer-generated images, there's all kinds of crazy stuff in this. We went way beyond anything we had done on our other films, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that we felt a really big responsibility to Point Pleasant and to especially those that have lost their lives on the Silver Bridge. And that'll come into play after you watch the movie. Some of you right now might be like, what does that have to do with Mothman? You'll see. We're really grateful that we got to take part in your town's story and play a part in telling that story. I'm extremely proud of the movie we made. I'm really proud of all the work my guys did. Pay special attention to the music by Brandon Dalo. It's really incredible what he did with the soundtrack. Zach Palmisano with the imagery, and Jason with all the behind the scenes stuff that went on. Just huge thanks to those guys, and then to all our artists and things like that. But thank you for inviting us in and having us take part in this event. We're really grateful that we could be here for this. Hang out with us afterward at the Mothman Museum, and we can chat about filmmaking. Huge thanks to Jeff Walmsley, by the way, and to Ashley, two of my favorite people. So thanks, guys. I think you'll like the movie. Where you going there? First thing. You know, when we started on this, I was super skeptical, just to be honest. And now I don't know what to think, because it just like seemed so cut and dried to me that had to have been like a Santo crane or an owl or something. It really, like, in your head, you're like, it's got to be that or something. And now I'm like, I have no idea what happened there. You know, like, it's such a cool story, and there's so many weird components to it that I don't even think all the descriptions of the Mothman itself line up with each other. So it's hard for me to be like, I believe in the Mothman, because I don't know which version of the Mothman I would say I believe in. I don't think it was just an owl or Santo crane though, and I did when I started, so that's gotta say something. Is that vague? Is that vague enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question for the crew. What is it that attracts each of you to the different stories?
You can take the mic off and ask her.
He's asking, what is it that attracts each of you, the producers, to this subject matter?
Should I start? Oh, okay. For me, I've been a fan of the Mothman story since I was a kid, you know. But the music, because I did the music for this one, so super interesting. But you know, this one was a little bit more interesting, I think, for me than any of the other ones we've ever done. The other stories that we've done were Bigfoot's and tales, and those are all awesome. But this one has so much emotion to it, so much depth, that it was really interesting for you to be able to score it. So that was one thing that attracted me to the story. yeah, just the story in general, just an incredible story, and like I said, so many facets to it. So.
For me, I mean, I think we come from a relatively small town, so a lot of these stories seem for me to take on the story of the town themselves, so it's just an opportunity to see someplace new and learn about it.
I think I was raised I was raised on horror movies. I'm not a huge cryptozoology fan, to be honest, but I think that there's a very, I think that they kind of go hand in hand in a way. And the more that I'm working with them, the more that I'm noticing that. And we just went to Horror Hound in Cincinnati and showed Boggy Creek Monster. The subjects are very similar. And I was raised on like Monster Squad and stuff like that, so Monster TV. I'm down with it. It's good.
Great story. I think for me, it's also my favorite interview in the movie, so if anyone wanted to ask that, cut you off at the pass. Lawrence Gray's story, I really didn't know anything about it, and I found him in one of Jeff's books, and that's how I became aware of Lawrence. And I contacted him, and he was actually a little hesitant to talk to us. And then when he did show up for the interview, I don't believe he knew it was a documentary. I think he thought it was going to be like an audio interview. And so like he walks in, there's like all these cameras set up, and we're sitting down. So the sighting being in his bedroom late at night and all that kind of stuff, that's one of those things I'm talking about when I said that I came into this having a kind of cut and dried answer and came away with another idea altogether. And part of the reason is because of his, his sighting, his story. Also, how tied in the UFO stories and the Men in Black sightings are to the Mothman stuff. I don't think I knew that. I definitely didn't really realize there was a story involving school teachers seeing a Mothman fly up into a UFO and that was a last minute addition to the timeline. I found that I think it was in Keel's work somewhere that we found that story, and I was like, I have to include that. So, that's it.
Did the crew experience anything unusual yourselves while making this?
Don't start. You can tell it, like, give me a minute. The weirdest thing that happened during the filming of The Mothman at Point Pleasant was strange. I'm going to say this and everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, that always happens, but it wasn't that. We kept running into weird technical snafus with our cameras, not in TNT area or even necessarily here in Point Pleasant. It was more like when we got home. And I think the weirdest thing that happened was we cut a trailer for the film and uploaded it to YouTube, and half the people we sent the link to could hear the audio, the dialogue audio, and half the people that watched it could not. And that was one of the weirdest things that we've ever encountered, because we still don't know what caused that issue. But some people could hear people talking on the interview, on the trailer, and some could not. And we did everything you could think of to fix that problem without any luck. We did have something weird happen very recently.
And long story short, we were just walking back and we had a rock thrown at us from the right, and you could hear it go all through the leaves, land on the ground right by our feet. So we really weren't like aware of what was happening, and so we kept walking, and a second one comes from the left. You can hear it flying through the trees and lands down through. So, and as we continued to walk, a third one came down. And then when we got to the bottom of the hill down there, before we get to the bottom of the hill, there's a thing, so. No, before we get to the bottom of the hill, Seth kind of runs back to where we were, and we hear, turns the hill. So we hear what sounds like two murmuring, really low voices. Sounds like two low voices talking to each other. And so we go the opposite way, and as we're coming around the bottom of the hill down on this curve in the teens here, we kind of go back into this where there's this field with this tall grass, and a fourth rock comes from the hill, hits a tree, loud thud. So, and that was kind of the end of the activity that night. So definitely a kind of unrelated to Mothman, right? We've never heard a story where Mothman is throwing rocks at anyone. So
All the stories about like John Keel and these guys who've had it's purported like activity of being followed by Men in Black and all that kind of stuff. But to my knowledge, we didn't have anything. Zach was around a lot, and that's weird.
Not just portraying our community as a podunk town that has this crazy story, so thank you.
Cool.
Anything else that's West Virginia based, either other monsters like the Flatwoods Monster or even just folklore?
And I love the Flatwoods Monster, and that's why he's in there for a brief moment. She's wearing a hoop dress. That's why it's in the movie for a brief moment, because I really love that story. Our biggest problem with that story, though, is that a lot of the original witnesses are gone, and we've obviously put a big focus on those original witnesses. And so it's definitely, the Flatwoods one is one I would have loved to do at some point. As for other monsters in West Virginia, yes, I would love to come back. Because what's cool about this area is it's not necessarily what you think of when you think of West Virginia. And you think of like hills and hollers and all that kind of stuff, and you don't really have the classic like hills and hollers in West Virginia here. It's this very like Ohio Valley look. It actually doesn't look that different from where I grew up in Bolivar, Ohio, which is like 2.5 hours north of here. So I would love to revisit that classic West Virginia kind of backwoods look for something in the future, for sure. I love the places, and I'm sure we all feel this way, but like I think we all kind of fall in love with the places where we make the movies. Point Pleasant especially. Whitehall, New York, Point Pleasant, these are my two favorite places that we've been to yet. But at some point I would come back, yeah.
At the time, and her husband to be Roger lived across the street. And you know, as I got older and I picked up John Keel's book when I was in junior high, and I started reading the pages and I started recognizing names. One question I get asked a lot is if I'm related to the Walmsleys, the Walmsley that died on the Silver Bridge, which was Marvin Walmsley, but I am not related to him. That was another set of Walmsleys. In the documentary, Marcella Bennett mentions her brother Raymond Walmsley and his wife Kathy Walmsley. That was another set of Walmsleys as well. So that may have been a distant relation. My dad's name was Dale Walmsley, and he worked at the National Guard Armory. He passed away back in '85, but I remember him talking about some of this stuff, and you know, he didn't disbelieve it, but I didn't know if he believed it or not, but he thought that there was something going on with that. So he took all the home movies that you've seen in the documentary of the bridge disaster. My cousin Johnny Walmsley, who was on the fire department, took a lot of that footage too.